Morning. We're going to be talking about the High Point Antique and Design Center today. We're talking about Grand Millennials, a little bit more on Behind the Gavel with Jason. Thank you so much for watching today. If you have any questions, go ahead and please post them here, and I'll be happy to answer them as I can as we're going through the show. I'm just going to share this on my page real quick. My name is Jason Roski. I'm the owner of the KC Auction and Appraisal Company here in Kansas City, Missouri, and love bringing the show to you every Friday. So what is the High Point market? Twice a year, April and October, there is the High Point furniture market or design market. Has several different names. There's a lot of different things to it, but basically it's a twice annual event that is the largest home furnishings, home fashion show in the world. It's spread out over 180 buildings. 11.5 million square feet, 11,500,000 square feet of design space. And let me just do this real quick. Post 11.5 million design space. Overall, there are over 2,000 vendors or producers. They have over 75,000 guests appear every year from over 100 companies. Approximately 10% of all visitors are internationally based, so 7,500 or so from other countries. Called Fashion Week for Home Furnishings. It's a huge show. It's just an amazing event. I've watched several of my friends and colleagues go there every year, either as exhibitors, vendors, or as attendees. I know that Rochelle Plett here in Kansas City goes down as an attendee to see what's new for upholstery and fashion and furniture. Don Fields and Rick Bumgarner or Morning Glory Antiques exhibit at the Antique Center every year. We'll talk more about them in just a minute. The Antiques Diva, who I met in New York City a couple of years ago, is a great, wonderful woman, Tama, out of Italy, but she comes to the show as an attendee, but also she has a furniture line. So if you're in the fashion industry, home furnishings industry, it's becoming a can't miss event. Interior designers from all over the world who show up to see the latest trends, see what's fresh, what's new, what's being reused, recycled, repurposed, and a lot of publications there, a lot of media's there. Obviously, there's probably 10,000 blogs this week about it. Instagram posts are crazy, and of course, all that goes with that in social media anymore. It's becoming the place to go, and in fact, I'll probably see about going there myself at some point, just because it looks really fascinating and interesting. A couple of things about it. I talked about interior designers. Mary McDonald's a very famous designer, 143,000 followers on Instagram. She posted a vignette of Morning Glory Antiques, which is Don and Rick out of here in Kansas City, the Westport area, that kind of trended well over 1,000 likes on it and lots of comments. House Beautiful magazine picked up on that. Obviously, the House Beautiful and other magazines like that are at the event. They named Morning Glory Antiques here in Kansas City, friends of ours, Don and Rick, as the #1 supplier of antiques and design in the country, which is a pretty big deal for Don and Rick. Winning Best of KC pitch here at Auction House is a big deal, but becoming noted for the #1 supplier of antiques for Rick and Don in House Beautiful is a pretty big deal. I'm pretty excited about them. So what other kinds of things were we looking at? I've seen a lot of posts, read a lot of articles this week about it. What kind of trends are they seeing in the marketplace? So Maria Killam Design, they wrote an article on wall art trends, the biggest trends they saw in the entirety of the High Point market. They noticed that there was a lot of animal motifs, especially dogs, bold and abstract prints. They mentioned specifically antique pictures in ornate frames. Which, I'm sure they went to the Antique and Design Center, but they were talking about seeing that in other settings or inspired by. So the traditional is coming back. They also talked about botanicals being everywhere. And we're seeing that quite a bit. We just sold a group of botanicals, did much better than they have in the past. And I think that we're seeing that consistently. We've talked about the traditional becoming more popular, and the reports from High Point are bearing that out. Like I talked about real quickly, House Beautiful named Rick and Don's shop best supplier. Other things were interesting. Soraya Rugs, which is a rug company that sells new rugs, They introduced antique, one-of-a-kind rugs to their inventory because of demand from their decorator clientele. So excited to see the rug market maybe starting to tick up some. More interest in antique rugs, which if you have antique rugs, Oriental rugs, you're very excited to hear that, because the market for Oriental rugs has been abysmal over the last 10 years. The supply outstripped the demand, but maybe we're seeing a shift in that. Hopefully we are. There's a lot of people that have rugs kind of rolled up in the basement waiting for good things to happen. Thanks for watching, Kurt. We're talking about the High Point market. We're also going to talk about Grand Millennials in just a minute. So again, 75,000 visitors. If you're interested in learning more about the High Point market, thanks for watching, Steve. If you have any questions, go ahead and post. If you're interested in learning more about the High Point market in general, or about the Antique Design Center at High Point, you can find all kinds of information online and blog posts, and there's highpointmarket.com, I believe, is their main website. If you're on Instagram, HPMKT hashtag, you'll find 264,000 posts with that hashtag. HPADC, the High Point Antica Design Center, over 10,000 posts. So you can see that there's still, the antique segment is still a very small portion, 4 or 5% of the entirety of the market. But you can tell that there's, 10,000 posts with that hashtag is not a small number. That's a lot of people posting over the last couple of years. The Antique Design Center is a relatively new addition to the High Point market, and so it's going to take some time to get established. But the results I'm seeing, the reports I'm hearing from vendors and attendees, is that it's becoming very, very popular, and that market's doing very well at High Point. Decorators and designers from all over the world are looking for the latest and greatest. And latest might be 17th century latest, but they're looking there for those kinds of things. So excited to see that. We'll keep you, we'll make mentions of that as things come across. Of course, again, in April, they'll have another show, so we'll be talking more about it then. Which brings us to House Beautiful's article recently about Grand Millennials, or Grandma Chic. We posted that article on our page this week, had a lot of response to it, and kind of flies in the face of what we're hearing and have been hearing a lot of in the general design trends and marketplaces, that youngsters don't like antiques and collectibles and brown furniture. We have been noticing this. We've seen values rise and interest rise in younger buyers, that Grand Millennials becoming the term, or Grandma Chic, and that is basically incorporating antiques and design into a contemporary living space with kids, young adults in their 20s to 30s. And it's kind of talked about as being liking outdated or stuffy based upon the design trends. The new traditionalist is another way to talk about it. Scott, I read a couple of really great quotes from this Nan Phillip of the Simply Elegant blog, who's 26 years old. Says, what I love about an old school layered, some might say cluttered aesthetic, is that it actually lets you show your personality. When someone walks into my apartment, I want them to get a sense of who I am and what I collect and where I've traveled, not just that I'm on trend. And Dallas designer Amy Berry is saying that younger clients are asking about chintz and bright colors, which have historically been an older demographic. So we are seeing that, and happy to see that that's being reported in some trending magazines. And like I said, we have been seeing younger buyers buying antique furniture. And it's not just that the tastes have changed, it's that the value has changed, right? So 20 years ago, a good chest of drawers, like 1820s chest of drawers, would be $2,500, $3,000 as an entry point. Now you can buy a great chest of drawers from that time period for less money than that. And you can buy 1820s furniture, 4-drawer chest from the 1820s for $400 and $500 regularly at auction. So it just is a matter of supply and demand. There's more supply coming on the market. The demand has dropped, but the prices have dropped. So those savvy buyers are looking at that saying, that stuff has lasted a couple of 100 years. It's probably going to last my entire lifetime, my kids' lifetime, and we can get it at less cost than solid wood furniture today. So we're seeing prices increase. We're seeing interest increase, which is, of course, is the demand side of a supply and demand market. And we're excited to see that, and happy again to report that it's being talked about and noticed across the country by decorators, designers, and now by nesting magazines. Home House Beautiful is a it's a design magazine. It's a home fashions magazine, and they're reporting on it. So it must be out there beyond just our stratosphere. So happy to see that. Happy to report on that. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, we do Behind the Gavel with Jason every Friday morning, 11:45 here in Kansas City. If you have any questions you want us to address or answer in the future, go ahead and post them here. Send us a direct message. If you're watching on YouTube or on Instagram or LinkedIn later, just go ahead and post them below. We'll answer them as we get them. If you want to ask us questions privately about items that you're looking at buying or selling, you can always send us a direct message through any of those platforms. Or you can give us a phone call at 816-283-3633, 816-283-3633. Drop us an email at info@kcauctioncompany.com, info at letter K, letter C, auction company spelled out.com. We'll answer those questions as soon as we can. Thanks for watching, Jerry. We're kind of wrapping up here. We talked about the High Point Antique and Design Center. Their second fall show just occurred with huge raving success and reviews, and also talked about Grand Millennials and what younger folks are wanting to buy for their homes, and the growing segment of the youngsters who are buying antiques and traditional items and going with more of a layered traditional look as opposed to the sparse modernist look. So again, thanks for watching, Kurt, Steve, Jerry, and everybody else who's watched. Appreciate you tuning in every Friday. And if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, have a great weekend. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon here in Kansas City, morning Friday afternoon. This weekend's supposed to be nice. Obviously, Halloween is less than a week away. Pretty excited about that. And if you're looking for any of the things we're talking about, we have a great auction online right now, and we're always preparing for more auctions in the future. Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon and weekend, and we'll see you soon.